Hello everyone, nubkeks here, welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video I've got two really cool updates that are going to be coming this week. It should be this Thursday with the new patch. Yeah, really awesome quality of life updates, and that's not all that's coming with the patch, guys. I may or may not be testing some stuff on the test server as we speak, and you should have some videos coming out this week on some cool test server things too. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. That is coming soon-ish, perhaps. But today I want to talk about two things that we can tell you right now that are coming. The first one is we are getting a new vault in the game, right? The champion vault is going to be split. Well, not split, excuse me, not going to be split. You're going to keep this champion vault, but there's going to be a brand new one. If we let me show you exactly what Plarium said. The reserve vault. With the new update, again due this Thursday, we think, the vault will be divided into two distinct sections. The Master Vault, it's basically the Champion Vault we have now, it's just renamed. Don't know why it's renamed, but it is. And the Reserve Vault. The Reserve Vault will work similarly to the Master Vault, except you can only send champions without artifacts or accessories equipped there. It will have 300 slots maximum, can be unlocked gradually for silver or gems, but the price will be lower when compared to the Master Vault. I think this is really exciting. So what is this all about? Very, very simply, really, I think, the Reserve Vault is in here to combat this problem, which is with the Faction Guardian system now, you can end up with like a whole bunch of epics that aren't actually built, that aren't actually doing anything, but they're just filling up these slots. Or same thing with the rares. Like a lot of people don't even bother doing the rares because it's just hard to find that many spaces to actually do it. They just clutter up your vault. This reserve vault is for those sorts of champions. So like if I come down to the bottom, I've got 2 cold hearts built on my account. I might build a third one at some point, but I've got a whole bunch of duplicate cold hearts because I like the idea of getting that rare faction guardians up, but they're just filling up my vault here. And it's getting, for me, it gets really expensive to expand that champion vault or to expand my champion collection. It's a hassle. This new reserve vault is going to be a cheaper way to open up more space. And these cold hearts, just doing faction guardians, no gear on them, stick them in there, frees up my actual master vault here to be stuff I'm actually going to use, my champion collection to be stuff I'm actively working on. It's just going to be so much cleaner. I think it's a fantastic update. It's going to help as well keep things clean for fusions. Like if you're working on the Razin fusion, you've got a whole bunch of rares or epics for that, or any of the any of the monthly fusions that tend to come along. You can just stick those champions into your reserve vault. They don't have any gear. And again, it works like the normal vault here that you can click. You can come in here and I can click when I'm running campaign or whatever, include champions from the vault, and I can still level them up. They just can't have any gear on, which is totally fine. So I think this is a great change. Really good. It's going to clean everything up. I love that they're saying that it should be cheaper than compared to the Master Vault. We'll see how much cheaper it's actually going to be. I don't know. I'm not sure what to expect here, but brilliant change. Just giving us a whole bunch more collection space. And yeah, I think it's going to mean that we're going to come in here and yeah, really, it's just more space. It's going to mean that we can start to collect a bunch of rares, epics, and really fill up all this Faction Guardian stuff and not have to stress half as much about running out of space, which is great. Now, the second big change. 1 second here. Okay, cool. I had to get the actual text up to show you guys. The second big change is a rebalance to the Hex debuff. So as it is on the live servers right now, Hex debuff doesn't actually do anything itself. Hex debuff just enables champions that interact with it to do cool things. So Mithrala's passive, Thea's Hex Reaper ability, right? There are champions that interact with the Hex debuff, but the debuff just by itself isn't doing anything. Well, that is going to change. Hex rebalance, guys. We've decided this particular debuff needed some love, thus we've aimed to make it more useful. As of the new update, Hex will work as follows. Champions under this debuff receive damage whenever their allies do. 10% for single target attacks or an additional 2% for AoE attacks. This is extra damage and it's not subtracted from the actual attack. Champions under Hex debuffs only take extra damage from direct attacks on their allies, not lasting effects like poison, HP burn, bombs, reflect damage, etc. But the damage from Hex ignores the champion's defense. So there's quite a bit to unpack there. This is my understanding of how it works is actually quite straightforward. So it will work. It will work off War Master and Giant Slayer. I double checked it with Plarium and they said that yes, it will. So that's pretty exciting. But basically, any direct damage hit you do is going to duplicate a portion of its damage. So let's say I come in with my Mithrala and she puts Hex on 4 of the enemies. Let's say we're in arena, Mithrala comes in and hexes all of the enemies. Then I have, let's say, Krutraxa comes in. Now, Krutraxa is not a hex champion. She's got no hexes in her kit or anything. But she slams out this big single target hit. She does 100,000 damage to, I don't know, let's say Duchess, right? Smacks her for 100k. It's going to duplicate 10% of that damage. Single target attack, so 10% of that damage is going to be duplicated onto other champions. So Krutraxa hits Duchess for 100k. It's going to do 10,000 damage then to the other 3 champions. They'll take 10k damage each. That's duplicated by this Hex debuff, which is really cool. And that's what it means with like ignoring the champion's defense. It's not going to be reduced by anything. It's just going to directly copy 10% of what you did. If I go in and I use a champion with an AoE attack, let's say Ethos comes in and he smacks them. He does 100k AoE on 4 enemies with Hex. Each enemy would take the 100k that he did, and then it's going to duplicate 2%. So it's going to duplicate 2k damage to each of the enemies. So in this case, Duchess, she'd take 100k straight up, and then she'd take 2k, 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 3 sets of 2k, so 6k more damage, because the other 3 champions also took 100k, and it's going to duplicate 2% of each one of those onto her, if you get. Maybe I made that more complicated than it needs to be. Basically what I'm saying is, it's going to add up to a good chunk more damage. That's actually a good chunk more damage. It's pretty spicy, if you ask me. Like against 4 targets like that, it's roughly like a 6% damage increase. It obviously varies slightly based off of their actual hit points, how hard you're hitting them. But yeah, or like 10% more damage like that. It's a pretty big deal. I think this is a pretty big deal. It's going to add on a lot more damage. I'm very excited. I'm not sure how exactly this is going to work for Hydra. Like, for example, let's say, I mean, for the Hydra, it's just going to add a lot of damage, but I'm not sure in terms of War Master and stuff. I'm going to have to test that out, guys. But pretty intense. Let's say Geomancer does an A1. His A1 is AoE, and he fires this off. And let's say I have Mithrala on the team, and there's a Hex on all 4 of the Hydra heads. What's going to happen if he triggers War Master against every single head? Is it going to duplicate 10% of each War Master proc onto every head? It could add up to a ton of extra damage. I'm not sure. Maybe it'll only be the 2% rule because his A1 is AoE. So it'll only duplicate. I'm not sure. We'll have to test it out. I can't show you any of that today, unfortunately. But when I'm able to, I will try to do that for you. I'm obviously going to be showing you as much Hydra stuff from the test server as I can. You know me. But I think this is pretty hype. Let's be real. There's not that many champions either that apply Hex, but it's a pretty big value surge to those champions. Like that debuff just became much better. I think especially for Hydra, where you've got, you know, with that AoE Hex redistributing or duplicating that little extra bit of bonus damage, I think has the potential to add up to quite a lot. So Cleopteryx, pretty exciting one. Potentially could mischief tank for you. Rule the Huntmaster. Thea is actually not in here. I guess she's in as a random. Yeah, Thea applies it at random with her A1. But these champions are, well, like, Rule was a fragment collector in the past, and Thea is from Doom Tower Hard. They could be pretty exciting now for Hydra. I certainly think Mithrala Lifebane, it's a really big value surge for her. She's already a fantastic champion, but now that additional Hex damage she's going to bring from just all your champions to the Hydra is very exciting. Vildrax just became not entirely useless. I think Thylesia is definitely getting a big glow up here. Yumiko, her Hex, more valuable in the arena, at least a little bit. And we got some other champions that aren't used all that much, the ones that do it at random. But yeah, honestly, I think this is pretty hype. This is pretty exciting. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I think it's cool. Let me know what you think. I actually didn't really feel like Hex needed any change. I was totally cool with a debuff not doing anything. I actually think that's fine. I think it's fine if there's a debuff that doesn't do anything but opens up like interesting interactions with champions. I think that's a cool concept. I know it was pretty unpopular though. People didn't like it. I think this is a pretty good way to do it, where obviously all those Hex interactions are still the same, but now it's got this little extra benefit, which is it's pretty nifty. It's pretty nifty. It's not a huge deal, but it will add up. So yeah, I don't feel like it's going to be massive for Arena, but I think for Hydra, I think it could be pretty nice. So there you go, guys. Let me know what you think. Vault or Hex, which one are you more excited about? And again, a reminder, stay tuned for all the test server stuff coming in the next while. Yeah, oh, also, I will be streaming CVC tomorrow. So as soon as CVC goes live, I'm going to be streaming for a couple of hours over on my Twitch channel. So come hang out, come say hello. Yeah, it's going to be fairly chill this time because it's not personal rewards CVC. We're going to be hanging out, just getting some points. I'll show you what I'm working on and all the rest, and we can chat about stuff. Exciting. Yeah. All right. I'll see you all then. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.